All right, everybody. So when we had class on Friday, we had to finish up a few things in some of the class periods. So one of the things we didn't get to was finding the slope of this graph and this table here. When I'm trying to find the slope of this graph here, notice this is a horizontal line here. There is no rise, but there is a run. So since there's no rise, my rise would be 0. My run, well, I could pick any number because it's a horizontal line. Let's say, for instance, it's 1. 0 divided by 1 is just 0. So my slope would be 0. So anytime that you have a slope of 0, that's a case where you have no rise. If I was looking at this in a table, my x's would all end up being different because from left to right, my x's are changing. I have -10, I have -4, 0, and so many more. And each one of those, though, have the same y value of -5, -5, -5. So the y values are all the same. They're not changing at all, but the x's are changing. So in this case, whenever there is no rise, we are going to have a 0 slope. Now, on the other hand, when we see our x's repeating, like we see here, my first question to you would be, is this even a function? Hopefully your answer is no, it's not a function because x cannot repeat. If it repeats, then this is not a function. So if this is not a function, if you get something that's not a function, then our slope is undefined. And the graph would look something like this. If this was my x and y axis, my line would be a vertical line. And again, it wouldn't pass that vertical line test, so that's why it's not a function. All right, let's take a look at this word problem we have here. So with the word problem, we got the number of cubic feet of water, y, in a reservoir, x hours, after the water starts flowing into the reservoir is a linear function. After 40 hours, there are 3,000 cubic feet of water, and after 60 hours, there are 4,000 cubic feet of water. What would be the rate of change of the amount of water in the reservoir? So my suggestion, make a table. X, Y. What is my X? They told me my X is hours. Remember when we talked domain and range, we said, go ahead and know from word problems what each of these represent. Y is my cubic feet of water. So my cubic feet of water is my Y. Now I need to go ahead and use my numbers that they gave me. 40 hours, 3,000 cubic feet. 60 hours, 4,000 cubic feet. And now just find your change in Y over change in X. You can use your formula or you can find the patterns. So here, how do I get from 3,000 to 4,000? Add 1,000. How do I get from 40 to 60? Add 20. Then divide. 1,000 divided by 20. The zeros cancel. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So my slope here, my rate of change would be 50. All right, let's go ahead. Let's talk about these check for understandings that you did on Friday. So my check for understanding for number 1 was come up with a slope. You guys had multiple choice answers. Let's go ahead and see which one was correct. My slope again is rise over run, or y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. To get from 5 to 13, all I need to do is add 8. And then from 2 to 6, all I need to do is add 4. I get 8 over 4 because we want to do y over x. And you don't want to leave this answer as is. You want to go ahead and simplify it. 8 divided by 4 is 2. If a fraction simplifies, I want you to simplify it. Do not leave it as this fraction, especially if it's going to simplify to a whole number. All right, let's go over here to our second table. I have my x's, I got some y's, and I'm already noticing my y's are repeating. Well, we said our y's can repeat, it's our x's that cannot, and whenever this is the case, that my slope would be 0. This was the one on the check for understanding that I wasn't sure if you guys would be able to do if you were in first or third period, because we didn't get a chance to talk about it. That right there is your answer for that. All right, number 3. You have 2 choices. You can make a table or you can use your formula, okay? I'm going to use my formula, x1, y1, x2, y2. That means I have my y2, which is 8, minus my y1 of 5, over my x2 of 9, minus my x1 of 12. 8 minus 5 is 3. 9 minus 12 is negative 3. 3 divided by negative 3 gives me negative 1. Again, we have to simplify it, and it's negative, since positive divided by negative gives me a negative. All right, guys, so what you want to do next is go ahead and click next on your module. And when you do that, you're going to go and take a rate of change quiz, a slope quiz, to see how well you're doing on this rate of change. All right, guys, sorry about that. My phone was going on. So I think this is where I was at. What you need to do next is go ahead and click the next button, and you're going to take a rate of change quiz. Basically, it's just exactly what we've been doing, all right? So you're finding the slope for different situations. You're going to have some that have 2 coordinates, some that have a graph, some that have a table, multiple different ways that you can do it, okay? My suggestion is, if you're not currently on a cell phone, to go onto a cell phone, log into Canvas, and do it through a cell phone. That's my suggestion. It's a little bit easier if you're on a cell phone than if you're on a tablet or a computer, okay? What you want to do is match the puzzle pieces on the next 2 slides. There are 6 total combinations. A letter puzzle piece will match with a number puzzle piece. Be sure to look at both slides to find your answers. Simply drag the pieces together to make a match. If you're on your phone, the pieces might go to different slides, so you can drag that piece to whatever slide you think it needs to go to. Don't forget to put your name and class period on it. And then once you're done, all you need to do is go back into Canvas, click submit, and your activity will be submitted to me. All right. If you have any questions, anybody, just let me know. And otherwise, guys, you should be good after you're done with that for today. All right.